Powered by
Hey,
Riverside.
hey, 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 hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Primetime Women Unfiltered with me, what? Cassandra. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday evening. How y'all doing up in here? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'll give y'all time to come on through.
Powered by Riverside.
Y'all like my new little jangle? Got a new little jangle for y'all. Got a new one for you.
Powered by Riverside. Powered by Riverside.
All right, all right, all right. Well, I'm going to get into it. Hello, hello, hello. For those that are out there, hey, do it. Let it go one more time. One more time.
Powered
Welcome,
by
welcome,
Riverside.
welcome. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Hey. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it, y'all. We're getting into it. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Looks like you're the first one here. Looks like you're the first one. Yes, looks like Andrea is the first one here. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Hello, you guys. Hello, I'm going to do it one more time. Bring that on in. Okay.
Powered by Riverside.
Hey, Dre, I thought that was you, baby. Hey. You like that music, baby? Thank you, me too. Hey, you know Auntie will find her way around all of
Powered
this.
by
I
Riverside.
started learning more stuff, baby. I started learning more stuff. Hey, your cousin on there too. She's saying hi. Hey. Okay. Well, I thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Those that are actually here at the moment. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, well, so, I know how it goes. As soon as I get into it, I'm going to start getting other people. They're going to start tapping in, and then they're going to say, what I miss. And then I have to go back through all over again. So I'm trying to just give it a couple of minutes before I actually get going. But as we are actually waiting on others to get here, you guys, come on and tell me what you got going on for this
Powered
weekend.
by Riverside.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. What y'all got going? Anything wonderful going on this weekend at all? Anything? I do. I have plans, actually. there's going to be and let me know if that's too loud. So there's going to be this play and a museum that, are you two familiar at all with Betsy Coleman? Any one of you familiar with who she is? Familiar? No? So, for those that don't know, hey Reginald, look, I'm going to do that. See, I told you. Sometimes I feel like I'm coming on early, but it's okay.
Powered by Riverside.
It's after 7, but I know people are, it's hard to, tune in right at 7 o'clock. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Reginald, for joining in tonight. So as I was saying, who's familiar? Anybody familiar with Bessie Coleman? Anybody familiar with Bessie Coleman? Anybody? So, for those who don't know, Betsy May was the first African American female and native descent to earn an international license for aviation. And for her aviation, and it's a pretty inspiring deal. So they have it down here where, it's actually her niece Gigi Coleman, her great niece Gigi Coleman, will be actually playing. Thank you. She will be actually playing Bessie May. I don't know why I keep calling her Bessie May. Sorry, Bessie Coleman. But she will be playing her, and they have a full museum here. So I will be going to that on Saturday. But yeah, she was the first woman pioneer aviator. She's the first black African American and the first of the Native American descent to earn that international aviation license. So I thought that was pretty darn cool that she actually, it's Black History Month for those that don't know. I'm sure you guys know. I hope you know that it's Black History Month. And so every now and again, I'd like to try to bring in something. Yeah, it's really, I'm really interested. So we're going to it, me and Cecil. We'll be going this Saturday afternoon. And then we're going to also visit the actual museum. And it's only $10. $10 to get in. And it's literally down the street. Like, when I say down the street, maybe 10 minutes. And so that's what I really like about here. A lot of their things that they have going on, you can find it. They have it going for you, and you just have to look it out. But another thing that they do is all during the actual week, they actually will keep it going so that you don't forget. And so, yeah, so we'll be attending that. So that's what we have planned, and hopefully doing some things around here. But that's about it. Anybody else? Hey, Roberta, how you doing, baby? I don't know. So I thought that was a good piece of news that I was just talking about, Roberta. Bessie Coleman, the first black African American and native descent to become the first aviator licensed internationally. So just a beautiful thing. And I'm going to be going to the play as well as visiting the actual museum. So that's one of those things that I got going on. But okay, y'all, so it is Thursday. Let's get into it. Before I continue on, I do not own any rights to any music. I do not own any rights to any of the music that will be displayed. I do not own any rights, okay? Okay, so first segment. Whose friends are they? in a divorce war. So when a long marriage, hey Janice, how you doing, baby? So when a long marriage ends, right? So whose friends are they? Whose friends are they? When a long marriage ends, the friend group usually goes into a panic, right? And they feel like they have to choose a side. Like we're still in middle school, playground stuff. But they do. They do. Trust me. I got stories. Trust me. But let's talk about it. So let's talk about this. I call it the custody battle. Okay? For friends. Who gets the couple we used to vacation with? Who gets the Saturday night dinners invites? If your friends drop you because you've moved on too fast, they probably really wasn't your friends. And so that's what I'm going to say. They were friends of my old version of me, of who I was. So for those that I know that, didn't stick by me, I get it, and it's okay. It's, it's called life. That's what life does. Life happens and you move with it. And however you move, it's not for me to decide for you. You have to decide for yourself. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing, baby? Hey. Yes, you have, baby. You've stepped into the room. I love it. Although y'all all miss my new entry song. It's okay, though. It's okay. I'll hit it back up for you when I see more of y'all. Okay, not as close, but they still call for advice and stuff. Okay, so exactly. So for me, I don't even have that. Most of mine is either they stay with me or they disappear. Period. That was either one or the other. So here's the thing, y'all. Not only about friends, but I don't know if people ever realized your neighborhoods. That's a good question, but I know after my relationship, long-term relationship, our friends remained our friends. That's because we was not able to stay together. We became cordial enough to where our friends was not stuck in the middle, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I felt that way too. Knowing the friends long enough, together, separately, whatever, but I lost them on both spectrums. I lost friends that actually was my friends, mine. Didn't even know him until after we met. That kind of sided with him. I lost friends that I met through him. I lost those as well. So, things happen. It is what it is, right? But here's what I'm going to get into is no one never thinks about the neighbors, the neighborhood, and how that goes down, right? Because I can tell you. So before I did what I did, I watched a couple across the street. Didn't have to put your friends in a compromised position just because one moved or the other. I think a breakup should be at peace to where your friends also can be at peace. I agree with that, Janice. But for whatever reason, it's just not always like that, unfortunately. It's just not. And I came to peace with it, and I'm okay with it. So the ones that are not my friends no more, it's okay. I hope they're doing well in life and all the above. But it's okay. It's all good. But I can tell you, so like I was saying, so I had a set of neighbors that lived across the street, right? And they were actually in their house before we were. Before I had bought mine, they were there already. And I left 2017. So this was probably 10 years prior to that. So I'm going to say probably 2008, 2009, maybe somewhere off in there. The split happened. And the woman left. And people I know just as well as myself was being nosy, watching everything that was happening. She left her 2 daughters and the husband in the house, much like I did. I left my husband and my daughter. I actually told my daughter, move in with your daddy. Left my daughter and him, and I dipped. And you know, the and I guess it's true, because neighbors always assume the new person, right? The new person was waiting in the wings. You know, you've been cheating or you've been doing. And I'm sure that comes up because for me too, I thought the same thing with the lady across the street. I was like, okay, she done got tired of him. He was a contractor, and then they had 2 teenage daughters. And much like our situation, although I don't think she was anything like myself, because I actually came back and helped mine, but he actually got stricken with cancer, and he actually ended up dying. I remember seeing him being carried out of the house. But nevertheless, the gossip is always, you guys, the gossip is always. I mean, I would talk to my next door neighbor, Holly, and, you know, of course, she was, if you needed to know anything in the neighborhood, this woman knew everything. She knew everything, and she would absolutely ask you questions, because that's how nosy she actually was. And you know, it was like, were you with him before you actually left? It's like, no. Things have been going wrong for a long time. Years, actually. Years. I moved out. I believe I've said this before. I moved out of my room, of our shared room, in 2014. And then I left in 2017. But sometimes you just reach a breaking point where you rather be alone than invisible anyways within that situation, which is what I felt. And then I had to do what I had to do. But it's just amazing of how people and your neighbors, they come up with it all. And so here's the kicker part of it, is that even though when I left, and moved on my own, I ended up meeting up. I reached out to him. He didn't reach out to me. He had no idea. I reached out to my guy that I'm with now after I left, and we just fell right back in sync. Hey, Tracy, we just fell right back in sync, right? But so for me, it wasn't weird. But I could see for others, it actually was, because, you know, I didn't have no shame in my game. I got with him and we just started kicking it. You know, now I didn't have him picking me up in front of my house. I thought that would be disrespectful. No matter that we weren't together, I just thought that would be disrespectful. So I would have him picking me up around the corner, at the holiday, things of that nature, right? I think I even had my daughter drop me off before or something. But when I finally said, you know what, who cares? Because people don't know my story. People don't know. People don't have no idea. They're just seeing what they see and they assume, right? And so when I started bringing him around, child, if y'all could see the side eyes, if y'all could see the side eyes, if there was fire and they could just whoosh, there was people that would have did that to me. They would have absolutely did that to me. I'm trying to tell you. It was crazy. I don't understand it. But it's something that actually happens. You know, I had neighbors come after, you know, he had passed away and Andrea had moved away, and I came into the house and did some more remodeling to it, ended up staying there. And bless my baby's heart. I mean, he was right there with me. Lord have mercy. Well, I know it wasn't easy for him, but that's why I knew that what we had was going to last, because I couldn't have did that. I don't think I could have. And I'm just being honest. I don't think I could have did what I did and stood by. I'm just saying, just me looking out. I don't know if I could have did that. But at any rate, so it just, you know, you had people, you know, like we would go to restaurants and we would go to places that wasn't in the norm, right? But every now and again I'd catch somebody that was out, you know, on the St. Paul side. And let me tell y'all, they would go poking back, telling my ex-husband that they saw me. They would pretend like they didn't see me. There was maybe only a couple that maybe would say hi or whatever, and there was a few that actually really understood it. Like one of my workers, Keith, he was so on my side. He understood everything because he worked for us, and anybody that knew Mark knew that Mark was very difficult. Loving man, but he was very difficult to work for. He was just that kind of person with his workers, and he was always on go. So, but just to sit back, and I can remember even saying to my mom and them, hey, check this out. You know, now it's coming to Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and now we're 5-6 months in, me and Ciso, we're 5-6 months in, and I'm like, hey, if y'all want me to come, you know, I'm bringing him, because this is who I'm with. This is my guy. Y'all either accept it or you don't. Because no one never said nothing, never really said much about anything, but you know, I knew that this was going on behind my back amongst a few, you know what I mean? But again, I kept my head high because I knew everything that I had gone through. I knew that this wasn't a sudden thing. I knew this was years of us not being together. People just didn't understand because we ran a business together, but we weren't together. We had not been together. And so for me, I held my head high, and I did. I eventually said, you know, I stopped even saying, okay, no, you can't come pick me up at the office. You know, I stopped doing that, and it's like, yeah, you can pick me up. It's Friday. Yep, you can come pick me up, because, you know, I had truly moved on, right? But like I said, the neighbors, I mean, even till the day that we left, you know, we would have neighbors trying to slide down and start asking questions. And, you know, me and my smart behind and witty self, I would give them a dose of stuff. They would say something and I would give him a full dose. Cecil, on the other hand, was pretty much an asshole. Like it's none of your business. But I would give them just enough to just tip them, because for me, I started finding it very hilarious. It was something that I came to see that it's like, yeah, I'm going to do me, and I don't care whether you like it, 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 but this is my new life. So get used to it or get out of it. Take your pick. I don't care. But this is where I'm at, right? So, but it just, you know, it's amazing. And here's another part of it. Here's another part of it. The financial glow up side. People love to gossip about how about the money. The money. and how you spending it and what you're doing with it and how much you're getting and how much you're walking away and all of this. When it's actually no one's business. It wasn't your business when he was here, and it's not your business when he's gone. It was never your business, no matter who it was. But you know how it goes. It's wandering eyes and minds. People want to know. But it's like, why is everyone so bothered when a divorced woman or a woman that is separated from their spouse finally starts doing stuff for themselves? Meaning, maybe you buy a car, you start traveling to the places that he didn't want to go to, or you start going to places that he didn't want to go to. They call it actually spending the settlement, which is stupid. But I call it investing in my joy. That's how I've always looked at it. I'm going to end this about the neighbors and move on to our next segment, which is about being in your 50s dating. But I'm going to leave you with this. If the neighbors and the friends are worried about your bank account, tell them to check their own happiness balance. That's what happiness balance, okay? Happiness balance. Y'all hear that? Happiness balance, because they it's not for them. it's not for them. Worry about your own. Worry about your own happiness balance. Don't be worried about mine. Worry about yours. Focus on where you is with your life. Like, one of the neighbors I know actually had an affair. Like, worry about your own stuff, and you still stuck sitting and spinning right now to this day doing nothing. That's on you. But, I'm going to let that go right there. And so now we're going to get into this segment, and I love this because it's the 50 plus dating, right? And I keep hearing so many women talk about how tough it is and all of the above, and all the different sites are crazy out here. So before I get into it, I'm going to ask you guys, maybe would you consider dating outside your type? Would you consider that? Because sometimes when you have a type, you keep going and you keep festering the same thing. And so maybe that's where you could be going wrong. I don't know. Maybe you need to change your type. I started thinking like, I ain't really never had a type, because I was married to a white man. My baby right now, my fiance, is chocolate. Total opposite. My husband was 6'2", 230 pounds, 40 pounds. My guy now is like, yeah, dating. We're going to get into that too, DeAndre, because I hear a lot of women going there. So we're going to get there in just a second too. But, when I stop and think, like, through my early teenage years, I had a plethora. I had mixed dudes. I had Creole dudes. I had light-skinned dudes that were black. And they all were in different shades, forms, heights. One thing that I ain't never liked, and this ain't gonna never change, is dating a short guy. For me, I don't like short dudes. I'm short. I'm 5 foot, a little over 5 foot, a little under 5'1". I don't like a short guy. I don't like a short guy. I like mine over 6 foot, preferably. Mine here, he's 5'11", close enough. But that's one thing that I do know, that I've always dated height-wise. But type in general, would you consider in this day and age, being that if things aren't working out with you during these different apps, and I'm going to get into a couple of these apps that's going on, and I got a couple of stories. Jenna said, me neither. I do not like a short guy. No offense, you guys, but hell, I'm sure I need somebody taller than me. You know how short men going to pick me up. You know how short men gonna pick me up and carry me around the house. Yeah, it's not my preference. Ain't nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of beautiful short men out here. Just not my type. But I started thinking about that because what I'm hearing a whole lot of stuff, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I skipped the dating apps, right? I went from a 27-year marriage right back into a 7th grade romance, like with my dude that I the first love in 7th grade. But when I started, when I look at what's happening, right, in this 50+ dating stuff, I feel like I'm looking at a different planet, like for real, like it's because I hear. And I got a couple of actual stories for you guys that people said that I can talk about, just not using their names. So I'm going to do that. But so like I said, so I started doing some research, right? And are y'all sure y'all okay out here, like the single ones out here doing the dating thing? Because it looks pretty scary out there. But here are 2 50+ dating apps. I don't tell me y'all if you tried them. And DeAndre, this ain't gonna be for you, baby, but this is for my 50+ people. The time traveling. What is it called here? Let me see. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, so these are different types. This is I looked this up, and so let me know if this resonates with anybody that is single and actually out here that's tried dating apps that's going on. Let me know if this is any resonation to you. So, because I don't know, to me it seems like a freaking circus out here for these dating apps over 50. Especially if you've been married for 20+ years, or you've been with somebody for 20+ years or whatever, right? When was the last time you actually dated? Had to think about dating, right? So here's a little scenario. You're staring at a screen trying to figure out if Bob from the suburbs actually looks like his picture, right? Or if the picture was taken at his high school graduation in 1984. So let's talk about this. So here's some things that I got feedback from. Why is it that men and women over 50 love 10-year-old profile pictures? So if you're on these dating apps and you've got a picture of you from 10 years ago, y'all need to cut that out. I mean, you really need to cut it out, because that's not true. 10 years you could have lost a lot of hair. 10 years you could have gained a lot of weight. You could have lost a lot of weight. You could have done a lot of bad things, and you look old just in general. I feel that you doing that's almost catfishing. That's almost like, to me, that's almost like how some of these women will take and what do you call that, when you airbrush yourself to look perfect, when they're doing posts and stuff. Jenna said, me neither, I do not like short. Okay, wait, no, that's the same thing. Sorry, me neither, I do not like, no offense, no, catfish, yes. Okay, so that's still going back to that. But yeah, it's like being catfished or um, what do you call that? When you take a picture and then you take your phone and you revamp it so you look airbrushed, filtered. Thank you, DeAndre. Like a lot of women do, all those filters, because sometimes some of y'all don't look nothing like your filters. It looks nothing like you. And to me, it's the same thing. You're meeting somebody, and if you don't look like what you really look like, and you showing up in a picture, and now they see you. Thank you, Sierra. Yep, filters. To me, that's a catfish, and I would not be happy. You show up at a Starbucks expecting a guy to be in a leather jacket from the photo, and you get a guy that looks like he's from his lost, looking for his lost reading glasses. And they said, from this little article, it said it's not catfishing, it's called time traveling. If you haven't lived in the body since the Clinton administration, don't put it on Tinder and these different apps, right? I heard another one, fish photos. A lot of men think it's cute to actually, right, that's what I'm saying. Ain't no filters in real life. This is me. This is it. I don't go on there and try to filter out my look. This is what you see is what you get. Here's another one though. A lady told me that why are there men on these dating apps with fish, actual fish, holding fish that they've caught? And is he proving he has a boat? I just don't know, but this lady said, if I see one more man in a camel holding a bass, I'm just gonna lose my mind, because she's like, this is another thing. So I'm not trying. She's like, I'm not sure what they're talking about when they're talking about it. When they're posting their picture, she's not 100% sure, because what are they displaying? That they like to fish? Maybe, I don't know, but no. I would say I don't want to see you wearing the camo and the hat and sunglasses holding a fish. She said, I'd rather you show me that you know how to make a reservation, not a lure. So, it's just, to me, I don't know. I'm just saying, because I'm not in the game. Like I said, I haven't been. But I just don't know. Then you got the bios that, just ask. And the lady said, no, Bill, I won't just ask. I've spent my last 20 years asking my ex, where's the remote? I want a man who has an opinion, a hobby that isn't watching TV, and the ability to write a full sentence. I thought that was funny as hell. So I said, do you mind if I put this down? And she said, sure. So, and she ended it though with, we are dating for desire now, not for a roommate. And I know that's right. Ain't nobody dating for a desire no more. We're dating for desire. We're not dating for a roommate. No one wants a roommate. No one wants a roommate. I don't know about that. I don't understand that. No one wants a roommate as far as I know. How about, would you date outside of your race? How about that? Well, y'all know me. I've already done that. I got a biracial baby. I got a biracial daughter. I married outside the race. But would you be willing, for those that are looking and can't find, would you be willing to actually date outside your race? Because sometimes you miss your blessings where you ain't looking. You know what I mean? Where you're not trying to look because you assume. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't for me, because I've been with both, I've been with all, actually. I've been with, I don't mean to say it like that, but having different types of men. I like my race. But my ex was cool as hell. Most people thought he was mixed or black, had black in him. I mean, he was cool as hell. He really was. But hey Kim, but I like dating in my race. But think about those two questions, you guys, and answers. Somebody give me some answers. Would you date outside of your type, or would you date outside of your race? Monty said, I did for a hot second in my early 20s. He wasn't any different, honestly. Yeah, a man is a man is a man is a man. It doesn't matter what color they are. If they're dogs, they're dogs. If they're good, they're good. And it honestly does not have nothing to do with the race. I think all men are designed the same in that way. If you're gonna be a cheater, that's what you are. If you're a good man, a solid man, that's what you are. If you're a runner man, if you are, you know what I mean, you're a man that can commit. And it doesn't matter what color listen here, I've seen 600-pound men cheat, and it tripped me out. Like, what? You big? Are you serious? They come in all sizes and all shapes and all forms, and it doesn't matter. A man is a man is a man. If they decide they want to do that, that's what they're going to do. But I want to know, anybody, would you date outside of your type? Thank you, Bonnie, for answering that. She said he was a crybaby. Jenna said, I did back in the early days, but I think I will stick to my own kind. Not that I have nothing against another race, just ain't for me. Yep, I ain't mad. I did it, when I first got with him, I think it probably took like 5 years to actually really get comfortable, because I used to be uncomfortable. I'd be around black people, I'd be like, oh shit, and then I got to a point where it was like, what the hell are you looking at? Excuse me? What are you looking at? That kind of thing. I had no issue doing that. Kimberly said, yes, I will try anything once. Okay, now. But have you ever? You said, yes, you have. Okay, so yes, you have, and you will try anything once. Yes, a man will be a man no matter what the color he is. I found that out too, absolutely. I'm telling you. Big guys that we deem ugly guys, doesn't matter. They can do it too, y'all. They really can, and that's crazy to me. They say, though, dating at 55 is actually better than dating at 25, because you have the no bullshit filter, and you aren't looking for someone to build a life with. You're looking for someone to share a life with, which I can believe that. You don't need a provider. You need a partner. If the first date is a flop, now this is me saying it. If the first date is a flop, don't cry into your pillow, y'all. Go home, back to your house, and pour you a nice glass of wine, and thank God. That's what you need to do. So, move on and let it go. If you don't learn nothing else, move on and let it go. Don't even wonder, don't even look back and say, what happened? I wonder, why did he? Because that's another thing I hear women saying. Men are ghosting. So, around 2 or 3 weeks or something, and then, boom, they don't hear from them again. What is that all about? I don't know. So here's a couple of the stories that I got for you guys. That one of the women that I was just telling you about, what she said prior to this. Here's the story. 52-year-old woman. She matched with a guy whose profile picture showed him with a full head of hair, dark hair too, y'all. Looking fit in a leather jacket. And she said when she arrived at the coffee shop, a man who looked roughly 15 years older and completely bald waved her over. And she said he had the nerves to tell her that he just hadn't had time to update his photo since 2012. And because I don't like how I look in selfies. What? I said, girl, are you serious? Or are you really messing with me? I mean, honestly, tell me the truth. She said, I'm not kidding you. She said, I promise you. This is what this man told me. She said, girl, I didn't even blink twice. I politely turned around and walked out the door. She said, I didn't even get no coffee. I walked up. She said, I was so pissed. I was so mad. She said, because she was so excited, right? She was so excited. And this is what she ended up with. Listen here, y'all. We all want to be our 2012 selves, you know? But if your profile picture has a Land Rover Discovery from the 90s in the background or something like that, or, you know, that whole theme looks like it's in the 90s or something, I think we got a problem. We got a problem in Denmark. Like, this is a really massive red flag. I mean, truly, honestly. Because really, if you can't be real about your hairline and how you're going to be, how can you be real about seriously though, how can you be real about like emotional baggage, but you lying about what your hair look like right now? Like, that to me is crazy. Another woman said, she said she went to this man's house for the first date, movie night. You know, she had been out with him a couple of times. She was kind of feeling his vibe, so he invited her to the house for movie night. She said instead of a movie, he sat her down for 90 minutes, painfully detailing a slideshow of his last family vacation, complete with maps and stories about people that she had never met. You know, just went through the whole thing. And so she's like, doesn't sound like you're over your ex. I mean, who does this? Why would anybody actually show? Who would actually pull out a slideshow and start showing old shit with you and your ex? I think that's a little loopy. I was like, girl. She said, well, I should have known. I mean, I thought I was feeling his vibe initially, but she said, but then, yeah, that just was really weird. Like, really, really weird. So, I don't know, but I think that's crazy. You know, there's another one too that there was a man actually that matched with this woman, and after only one date of texting, she said he told her he loved her. He said that she was the one that he had been waiting for, and she said when they actually first met, that he tried holding her hand and like got really mad when she was like, no. That's crazy. Yeah, I would have did the same thing. I would not have came back, called him, blocked him, all of that. Because why? Like, exactly. That's like crazy. I don't know. But what I can say is, you know, there's a 333 rule, right? There's a 333 rule. 3 dates. We knew, if you have chemistry or not, right? 3 weeks, can watch for consistency while you still are, figuring out if this guy, right? 3 months, by the time, 3 months, the 3, so if you haven't swiped, hold on here, I got that twisted up. Oh, yeah, that's why, because I added this in for my own self. By the time the neighbors even knew his name, we had already hit the 3-month mark where I knew this was a genuine foundation, not a distraction. So for me, because so many people, what that's pertaining to, so many people like to say that, I move fast. I probably did, but I knew what I was moving fast in. You know what I mean? It wasn't like jumping into something just because I was jumping into it. I knew exactly who I was jumping back into. So for me, I feel differently about that. 100%. I really feel different about that. But yeah, so the ghosting after 50, I don't understand that. I heard that too. So this one lady with one of these stores, she's been ghosted 3 times. So, and she seems to be a very nice lady, like in all aspects. I don't know her a whole lot. I've just gotten to know her probably in the last year. But everything that I know, she's a very nice lady. She's actually very nice looking. She keeps herself together. She's got a corporate job. All of this. And so I don't know with the ghosting deal. But now I'm going to go to DeAndre's question. Would you date younger? Who would date younger? Who would date younger? Anybody? I've thought about that many a times. The only reason why I would date younger, and I'm going to be 150% honest, and y'all should know by now what I'm getting ready to say. The only reason why I would date younger is because I would be not looking for anything serious, and somebody in their late 30s, 40s got a high sex drive that could match mine. So that would be the only reason. The only reason. Other than that, Andrea said my man is. So, yep, he is. What is he? 3 years, 4 years younger? Yeah, so I don't know. What do y'all say? Janice said no, not at all. Don't want no young man. Anybody else? Anybody else? How about you, DeAndre? Would you date younger? Or how about you? Would you date older? Would you date an older woman? Would you consider dating an older woman? That's a good question for you. Would you consider dating an older woman? Yeah. So that, for me, that would be the only reason. It would be purely sexual. It would have nothing to do with nothing else. It would be 1,000% sexual. That's it. Because I don't have the patience to teach and to walk back through stuff that I've already done and been, and I don't want to do that. But I would not. Sierra, you saying yes to what? Yes to what? You would date a younger man or an older man? 30 years ago, my ex-husband was 5 years younger than me. Okay. See, 5 years, I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think 5 years is a big deal. I know for me and my ex-husband, we had a 17-year age difference. huge gap. That's why we fell apart, because we were like not on the same. As I'm growing, I got with him since I was 18, 19 years old, and by the time 47 came along, yeah, I was in a whole different mindset, a whole different everything. It was time to go. Bonnie said, never have. It's a maturity level thing for me. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that too. It's a maturity level. Dre said, I would date older, but younger. We keep it fun, spontaneous. We should be adults in our early 40s and be able to keep up. Yeah, so, yeah, you could date a 45-year-old, baby. And I trust and believe me when I tell you she's going to keep up with you. She's going to keep up with you. She is absolutely going to keep up with you. Andrea says, some younger men are doing better than them dusty-ass old men that don't want to do anything and want to act like your dad. Yeah. Sierra said, yes, mine is younger. Okay. DeAndre said, we would not be on the same maturity level, though. Yep, okay. But now, no. Janice said, but now, no. Yeah, for me, that would be a no. I would not, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't want it. Yep, that's facts. I got you, Dre. Yeah, that for me, that would be a no. I just wouldn't want the younger man. I mean, like I said, the only reason why I would want him is for purely sexual, nothing else. And absolutely, there's a lot of still old men that still ain't figured out life. Absolutely. Bonnie said, now hold on though, cause get you a southern man that's younger, you'll swear he's older. Yup, that's facts too. I can tell you that meeting a lot of these gentlemen down here, you know, we've gotten to know a lot of people, we've got friends now, and you would think that they're older, and they're not. They're not. They're younger, but they move and carry themselves like that. Dre says, some women are still taking care of men in their 50s. Yeah, no. Facts. Yeah, no. Yeah, that would be a negative right there. Because you're not living your best. Now, don't get me wrong. There are women that got everything that they need and want, and actually enjoy taking care of their man. So there's some people that I know actually are like that. So, you know, kudos to you, but for me, I can't do it. No. That's, you know, I had 33 years of taking care of, from kids and a man to a business to running shit like that, and I don't never want to go back there. So age don't mean nothing. Yeah, okay. Now hold on though. Cause get you a southern, okay, yep, replied to Bonnie, I got you. Yeah, yes, thank you, DeAndre. But yeah, so for me, that's what I would say to that whole little thing. You know, and some people don't even some people don't even know, which is crazy, but some people don't even know how to ask the right questions when they start dating people. You know, I think people want to say like this instead of putting it out there right away. Because I would want to know things like this. Are you still bitter about your divorce or your last breakup? You know what I mean? Like, how do you get along with your family? Do you have friends? things to me that actually matter, your spiritual background. I want to know stuff like that because, all that other stuff is shenanigans. What I'm talking about is real, your finances, all of that kind of stuff. Hey, Clarissa. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. So for me, that would not, no, I'm going to leave it right there on that, you guys. I'm going to leave it there. Also, too, like I was saying, how people don't ask the right questions and whatever, but also at the same token, we know as women, every woman 35 plus, probably even younger than that, because we're natural private investigators, right? We'll need a lot of women, because I'm going to say that's not for all, because that's what I'm talking about. Some women don't do their research. I think you should do your research, and if you did your research, then you would be able to discover a whole lot of things, from checking out Facebook pages and things of that nature, property taxes, records. You can find out all kinds of things if you dig a little bit. Finances might not be all the way there, but the love is. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with somebody that's working towards something. Now you just sitting on your ass and ain't doing nothing. That's a whole different ball game to me as a man. But if you got your sights set and doing things, I think finances don't always have to be that forefront thing. It doesn't have to be, because again, usually for women in our age right now that we've pretty much set ourselves to we're okay, right? And to add to it, that's beautiful. But again, there are some women that really don't mind taking care of their man. That's not me. I don't think it's a bad thing if you have to help for a little while, until things get there for him. But if it becomes too much work for you, then it's just too much work, and it's probably not worth holding on and letting it go at all. That's what I would say. Not at all. But you guys, did you know that men over 50 actually peak in popularity on apps and stuff, while women often feel more negative about the experience? Like I said, like how the women was telling me about their dates, men seem to get a better response when they're 50 plus, as opposed to women having more negative experiences. Men are still sending women dick pics. Why? What is that? Why would you think that a woman wants that would drive them to it? I can see that if you was maybe a young girl, and I don't know. I think when we get in our age that stuff is not where it's supposed to. That's not it. But anyways, guys, here are two of the most popular dating apps: the Silver Singles or Our Time. These two apps are for the person who is exhausted by the jungle and just wants someone to tell them who they can talk to, right? Kimberly says, as long as the person is taken care of you either way. Yes, 1,000%. That too, Kimberly. 1,000%. I agree with that. 1,000. So let me get into this. So this is so this one is actually Let me see. Wait, let me just make sure I got this right. Okay. Yes, so, okay, so here it is. So, the silver singles is strictly for 50 plus crowds. 80% of members are over 50. It's designed for people looking for a serious long-term second chapter. How it works is you take a massive 100 plus question personality test when you signed up. The app then sends you 3 to 7 hand-picked matches every day based on your score. They call it the JetBlue of dating apps. The initial price is higher. It's $13 to $55 a month, depending upon the plan, but it's all inclusive and it focuses on safety and verification. The one red flag that it has is that you can't really browse the whole neighborhood. You're stuck, within that perimeter that they actually pick for you, right? They actually pick for you. That's for them Uncle Elroy's from next Friday. Both ways, I'm trying to say it. So I mean, this is one that they say, and then the other one, which is the Our Time, they call this the Social Jungle. This is the most popular senior dating app, dating site. If someone in the neighborhood is on the app, they're probably on this one too, is what they're saying. So it's much more flexible. It's not just for marriage people. They use it for casual dating as well, friendships, or even pen pals. How it works is it's a search-heavy site. You can filter for exactly what you want: height, religion, distance, and scroll through thousands of local profiles. They call this the Spirit Airlines of dating. It's cheaper to start. It's $12 to $35 a month, but they upsell you on this one. So if you want to see who liked you, you got to pay extra. If you want to hide your profile, you got to pay extra. So they have that to it. But the red flag is because it's so big and easy to join, it has a higher risk of scammers. So you have to be your own private investigator, like I was talking about. We can private investigate stuff on our own naturally anyways. So, I mean, I don't know, for those that, are single, you may want to think about those two sites. They may work. I mean, really, they may work. I don't know. I would just say, whatever you're doing, just remember that 3-3-3 rule, the 3 dates, the 3 weeks, and 3 months, right? If in 3 months, you should know if you like somebody, and if you don't, move on and keep it going. So, you guys, here's the choice. Do you want the silver singles, where the apps act like your matchmaking auntie who only introduces you to nice people, or do you want the Our Time, where it's like a digital happy hour and you have to dodge the fish photos yourself? You know what I mean? One is for the serious seekers, and the other is for people who want to see who's left in the zip code, who's in the area, basically. That's what I think it is. I don't know, but I don't know. So that's what they said about that, you guys. Has anybody ever accidentally swiped onto an ex or anything like that? I don't know. Does the app let you block, certain people out? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I have no idea. I don't know. Does anybody know that? Sorry, because my brain can barely handle a damn grocery list sometimes. I can't even imagine handling 3 different conversations with 3 different Gary's on apps. Like for me, that would be a no-go. That's too much work. Don't do sites, no dating sites for you. Okay, yep, I'm not mad. Not mad at all. Not at all. Okay, so, well, let's see what else do I have here. Went over that. Okay, so we're a little over an hour. If you guys got anything you want to talk about before we are done, before the segment is over, because I'm just about pretty much there for now. Oh, I know. I want to tell you guys this. I've been thinking about this. Honestly, I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. And I've been doing this podcast, you guys, for like 2 years now. It just hit 2 years this month, February. And I really do. I don't think people realize when people are posting and doing things, especially for like myself, because I make up my own inspirationals. So when all of those things that you guys see out there, I build those. I make those. I don't find it on a site and copy it and paste it. I physically make those up myself. And I actually spend a lot of time doing that. I spend a lot of time actually on my websites and just the Facebooks in general, from Facebook to YouTube to Instagram to TikTok to all of that. And something just came across me today that made me stop and take a pause. Because honestly, as a businesswoman, you know, I know when to hold it and when to fold it on business adventures and things that are happening. I know when it's time to cut it and let it go. And so I've been really thinking about it, and I've been on this. I've been doing this for, like I said, 2 years now. And it's just not built up the way that I had expected or hoped it to be. I've got 228 followers on Prime Time on this deal in itself. And so when I start looking at my time that I spend on creating these inspirations and posting and taking my videos and editing them and making quick clips and all of this, I'm spending a lot of time. I'm also spending money through my Riverside. I'm spending money out monthly. And I just don't know if this is the road that I'm going to continue. I don't know if this is the road that I'm going to continue down, you guys. I think by the end of March, you may not see me on here anymore. Because I feel like I put out a lot. And I mean, I appreciate all you guys that give me thumbs up and you love, you know, the different messages that I have out there and stuff like that. But it's not giving me the return back that I need, right? In any business, like I said, any business, any business that you do, if at some point you have to look at it and you have to see, is it making you any profit? Is it doing anything? And what I see is I don't see it. I don't see the return back. You know, like I said, I really appreciate you guys that make the comments and what have you like that. I built it up to be able to get monetary value off of it by the stars that go out on certain videos and things of that nature, like this right here. This has got stars sitting there. But if you guys don't press them, then it doesn't do anything for me. And so right now I feel like I've invested and I've put in 2 years and I'm just not getting that return back to my time and to my money investment. It's not, because I'm steady putting out every month, but I'm just not getting it back, and it's becoming more difficult for me to justify spending the time on this that I spend. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I love putting out inspirations to women. I love empowering women, but I feel like I am not doing that. I feel like I don't feel that women are actually getting that. I don't feel like it's reaching. I don't feel like it's reaching, and I don't know how else to do it. I mean, I pour my heart out every day into every inspiration that I actually make and I post. I create it based off of things that I know, and speaking with women, and just talking to other women, just in general, and so that's where it all derives from. But sorry guys, but it's sorry, but it's tough. I don't think I'll be able to continue, and so I'm gonna continue it throughout to the end of this month, but I have to let it go because I gotta pivot, and I gotta focus on what's gonna make me money, where I gotta bring in more income, and I just thought at some point that this would actually do it, but it's not, and it's okay. It's okay. But I feel almost defeated in a way. Sorry. Okay. Sorry guys. But I just feel like a little defeated with it, and so whether like I said, I just stop and take a stop and back. Maybe I'll come back. Thank you, baby. I know. It's just it's sensitive to me because I pour my heart out to really putting out inspirations to hopefully capture a woman that's actually going through things. But I see that it's very hard for women when they are going through, excuse me for a minute, let me get some tissue. When they're actually going through things, I know that it's hard for women to keep it real. Sorry guys, I said I wasn't going to do this. I said I wasn't going to do it. I know that it's very hard for women that are actually going through things to actually face it and to face their situation that they're in, and to have to deal with it and to have to share it and to have to experience it. But that's what I've always called the uncomfortable. And in order to get to your better spot, you've got to be uncomfortable. And so my whole thing is I've been trying to do that and put it out to people, to women especially, men too. I'm not discriminating. There's men that are in things as well that is not good. But I just, yeah, it's a lot, and I've gotta refocus myself. And yes, this is my baby. It really is. I mean, Yeah, I mean, thank you. Who said that? Even if you, thank you, Janice. Who said that? Even if you touched one person, I can't see where that is now. Um, oh, Drea. Even if you touch one person, you did something. Yeah. I agree, but I don't even feel that. You know what I mean? I don't even feel that. I really don't. I don't feel that. I know. I know. I got your girl through her divorce, and I mean that meant a lot. You too, I know. But again, you know, just after 2 years of doing this, and I look and it's only still 228 people. You know, I got to stop and look at it. I look at my Cassandra page. I had almost 800 people, and I don't, you know, and I don't even there. When I look at the friends, there's so many men, you know, that I just pulled it all together with. But yeah, I don't, you know, I'm just letting you guys know that this is going to end up coming to the end. No disrespect, but at 50 plus, it's 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, and 2 years, possibly. I just saying, I don't know what you're saying, Kim. I don't know what you're saying. Say what you're saying. I don't understand that. But anyways, you guys, so I just wanted to just kind of fill you in on that, because you know I keep it real with you guys. I don't hide anything. I try to, you know, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm too real. I don't know. But I know that at some point you got to cut your losses, and I just feel like right now this is going to be the time to do it for this. But nevertheless, I don't want you guys to be down. I thank you guys truly for tuning in every single week. For those that have, I really appreciate you, truly, from the bottom of my heart to the top, 1,000%. I do. And so, but I needed to be able to tell you guys that. Jenna said, yes, you have some very good topics, and it really puts things on our minds. I don't know, some of your subjects have really made me think about things really. So with that being said, if you decide not to continue, I want to say congratulations on a good job you did. Thank you. Oh yeah, I say 333. Okay, I got you, Kim. You're saying 222. Yeah, that's okay too. 2 months is okay too. Hell, 1 month is okay. I know if I like somebody. I know if I like somebody after the first date. Personally, that's just me. Like, I just know, right? But thank you, Janice. That made me feel really good. Thank you, Andrea. All of you guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I'm your girl, Cassandra, and this has been the juice and banter that I think that you guys needed to hear today. The unfiltered. Thank you guys again for always tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Love you much. Till next week. Mwah. We'll talk. Thanks.